All right, sorry about that. I have probably recorded this now 3 times. You didn't have to know that, but I just figured I'd let you all know that. My 3-year-old is still up running around, but I am doing my presentation on the Jacksons, the American Dream. This setting is the setting for this movie is Gary, Indiana, 1971. My name is Yadira Richardson. The main characters here in this movie are Michael Jackson, Tito Jackson, Jermaine Jackson, Marlon Jackson, Jackie Jackson, Joe Jackson, Katherine Jackson. And yes, that Michael Jackson's sisters were in the film. They just were not main characters. So I only did the main characters, the Jackson Five. So, the Jackson movie is a depiction of how the legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, and his family had to face poverty and the abuse of their dad, Joe Jackson. Here we will discuss the many obstacles they had to face. If you've ever seen the movie The Jacksons, or ever done a autobiography on Michael Jackson, then you're probably already aware of the severe abuse that him and his family had to face through Joe Jackson. He was um, an abusive parent. They suffered beatings, whoopings all the time, and were, was basically pretty much they had to lift bricks and do different things like that. And he was a rough guy. He really was. But he meant well. His theory was like cultivation theory. His theory on life was cultivated through his experiences. I never once ever heard of him beating on Catherine. I know that he was abusive to the kids, but I don't know. But I think that this will be a great representation, of a brief representation and a good representation of the communication process in the movie. So let's discuss this first video, and this video is um, hmm, pretty kind of funny a little bit because I mean he is just excited. He must have seen something out of his children that blew his mind because he has spent all the money on instruments. He has spent all the money on guitars and with everything that they need to get the band started. And so, Catherine, on the other hand, not so happy about that. She is pretty much, she has a fixed mindset. She has her mind made up that there's a certain way that she is going to raise her children and a certain way things have to be done. She wanted Joe to go and get another job and try to, provide for the family. She even went to work herself to provide for her family while Joe was out of work. My main thing here for this video is just the growth mindset and how he turned a negative into a positive, and realizing that there was something more for him, and not everything that has happened to him was bad. Catherine's fixed mindset was more about surviving and making ends meet. Her idea of life and family is built on hard work and not taking chances that could cause major setbacks. When Joe lost his job, Catherine decided to go back to work to help support the family. And you can actually see here in this picture that she's picking bugs out of the greens. because she had to work. So Latoya had to be the one to cook those greens. And if you guys know anything about soul food, if you do not wash those greens properly, they're not gonna be good. You got to wash them at least 3 times. And so she didn't do that, and that was just the life and the culture for them back then. Soul food, having a hot meal on the table. And as I said, she was Jehovah's Witness, so she was really, really Christian. You'll even see in the movie where Joe takes them to do a performance at the strip club. So it's really crazy, some of the things that they did. So this next one is a brief clip of a communication process of self-esteem. One of the things we see is Jackie Jackson, which was an older brother of Michael, getting into a fight and how he had to survive in his environment, in the impoverished area, and how Catherine did not want them fighting and being involved in the different things that was going on in the neighborhood. But Joe Jackson pretty much made him fight. Told him, if you didn't fight, you're gonna have to fight me. I'm gonna whoop you. And that's that ghetto hood type mentality. When you live in a impoverished area, you have to fight to make sure that people don't walk all over you or step all over you. So try to rob you. It's just one of those things. It's a cultural thing. And then we also see where we have quite a few listening barriers on Joe's behalf. He's definitely not a good communicator, and he's most definitely not a good listener either. Several things going on. A lot of it, I do believe, is affected by what he's currently going through, the noise. And we'll talk more about the noise here in just a few minutes. But the and you guys are gonna hear my 3-year-old because no one else can handle her at this point. Lay down. Um, so it was pretty much his decision to allow Jackie to fight based off several past experiences. Characteristics of nonverbal communication. Sorry, guys. I got my 3-year-old ready for bed. Um, Characteristics of nonverbal communication. You guys are gonna see that here in this presentation as well. Sorry, I just got distracted. Um, he he displays some emotion here because he did not know Michael could sing. He did not know Michael had the talent that he had, and he has a powerful voice that captivates people. And he was unaware. And I think the nonverbal communication between him and his wife spoke volume. It didn't really have anything that was, so complex about it. It was just, you could see them look at each other and kind of give each other the look like, wow, we're on the right track. This is it. We're going to be okay. So I thought that was really, really great. And just again, and lastly, the noise for all of them, not just the parents, but just so many different aspects of noise, whether it's psychological or with Catherine having polio, not being able to really work, and just so many different tests and trials and different things going on in external and internal noise. But they made it, and he turned out to be one of the greatest pop singers there is and will ever be, maybe. So I'd like to thank you for this opportunity to present to you this movie, and I am going to leave my references here at the bottom if you guys need them to kind of look back on some photos. you're more than welcome to. And thank you.